What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we are going to take a look at the Kimafun wireless guitar pack. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take awesome high-gain guitar amps, cabs, speakers, pickups, pedals, overdrives. I record them with a simple SM57 setup, and I give you guys the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes who are always craving a cheeseburger, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on your way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, so today we're taking a short little detour off of the awesome amps, cabs, pickups, speakers, overdrives, pedals, blah, 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 and we're taking a look at something a little bit different. Kimafun has reached out to me and asked me to review their wireless guitar transmitter set here, and I figured why not, because I personally have never really messed with these before. I've never really looked into the wireless guitar transmitter stuff. I've always just been happy being on my little cable leash on stage, because most of the stages that I play are short enough that, you know, it doesn't really bother me, and I've just always had more cables than I've needed, so I never really wanted to go out and spend the money on a wireless transmitter system. But that's not to say that I haven't been curious about them, especially over the last 4 to 5 years, where you've been seeing a lot of these wireless transmitter systems pop up for affordable prices. So this one from Kimafun will run you $129.99 brand new, and you get a number of features with these. So on these, you get multiple channels to choose from. So just in case you're getting any sort of wireless interference, you're going to be able to switch between multiple channels on these units to find the best channel that is going to give you the cleanest signal. You also get your standard on-off switches on the side here, that way you don't run your battery dead. Now Kimafun says that these are basically capable of 6 to 8 hours of battery life, which I think is extremely impressive considering that these come with lithium-ion batteries and you can recharge them. But if you turn them on and off when you use them, they're gonna last you quite a long time. Now I have not fully tested the extent of how long these batteries last, but I can say that I have used these quite extensively since I've gotten them, and I charged them up for this video, but prior to that I used them for at least a few hours and did not have to charge them. So that's pretty impressive in my opinion. And on here you also have the little battery LED indicator, so that's a nice touch as well, so you can see whether the battery on these things are dying or not. And then finally, one thing that I found really interesting is there's actually a volume setting, and you can click the volume up or down on these, or on the transmitter only. It's not on the receiver, but on the transmitter, you can adjust the volume up or down coming from your guitar. So if the volume coming from the guitar is too hot or too loud, you can turn it down, or if you feel it is too weak, you can turn the volume up. And that will make a difference in your sound, because as you guys know, a hotter signal is usually fatter and rounder, and I have found that to kind of be the case on these. If you have the volume cranked, it will sound a little fat and a little bit muddy, so you got to kind of find the sweet spot for the volume. What we are going to do now, Kimafun does say that these take 3 to 4 hours to charge. I didn't really pay attention. I just threw them on a charger and left them. And again, the battery wasn't dead, so I can't really say. As far as other tech specs regarding these, I'm just going to pop those up on the screen because I'm not a tech spec guy. The only one that I really truly cared about was the distance. Now, Kimafun says that you can get 50 meters out of this transmitter and receiver, and I think that's pretty impressive. That's, you know, around 150 feet, which most people are not going to be going more than 15 to 20 feet away from their amp or their input, whatever it is that they are using these on. So you're going to get a whole lot of range, and we are going to test that for sure. Now, on top of the transmitters, you get a nice carrying case, which I think is honestly a nice touch, because I feel like these would be extremely easy to lose, and unless you're throwing them in a pedal bag, this is nice to just kind of keep them organized. So this is the case that it would come in. It's got a little foam insert, but also in here you get a manual. You get a couple of lanyards in order to attach to the wireless units. That way you don't lose them. Again, just another nice touch to keep from losing these things. And then you get this dual USB Type A to Type C charger cable. That was really hard for me to put all those words together, but you only need one USB port in order to charge both pieces, so I think that that is also a very nice touch. But yeah, that's what comes in the box. That's pretty much all the specifications of this thing. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna plug this into my interface. We're going to test it out against an actual 1/4 inch regular guitar cable, and then we are going to test the distance on these things to see how far we can get away from whatever it is that we're plugged into with these wireless transmitter units. All right, guys, so I have my Gallagher Typhon guitar here, and we are going to plug directly into my Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 interface. This is the 3rd gen interface. We're gonna plug into it with the 1/4 inch cable first. I'm going to play something on guitar clean, and then I will change over to the wireless transmitters from Kimafun and see if there is any difference in tone. And then I will also play a distorted riff and see if we can hear any difference between the 1/4 inch cable and the transmitters. Okay guys, so between the 1/4 inch cable and the wireless transmitter, I noticed that the wireless transmitter is just a tad quieter. If I'm looking over at my actual waveforms in my DAW, the 1/4 inch cable was just a little bit louder and the transmitter was just a tad quieter. So to say that there's a tonal difference would be tough to tell, because overall we're more so gonna notice the loudness from the cable versus the wireless transmitter. But overall, it didn't seem like there was that much. It was pretty close, and not a whole lot of signal volume lost with the volume maxed out on the transmitter. So let's move to the distorted guitar test. We're gonna be using the Neural DSP Omega Granifier plugin for that, and we're gonna start with the 1/4 inch cable, and then we'll move to the Kimafun transmitters again. Okay guys, so as you could tell, there is less output from the transmitter, and I have a gate on my guitar channel to catch noise and feedback, and that gate was almost kind of kicking in, catching the transmitter a little bit. But all we got to do in order to fix that is bump a little bit of gain on our interface, and let's try that riff again. So as you can see, bumping that gain on the interface fixed the level difference between the 1/4 inch cable and the Kimafun transmitter. But if you're plugging into an amp and not like something, say a Kemper or a Quad Cortex, where you can kind of adjust your input gain, you will notice that you'll have a little bit less gain on your amp overall, and you'll need to bump your gain a little bit, or you'll need some sort of volume or boost pedal on your board to even out the level to get it where it would be if you were using a regular 1/4 inch cable. But overall, tonally, I think that these sound great. It actually maybe sounded a little bit brighter than the 1/4 inch cable, but again, I'd have to go back and compare them side to side. Like, you guys will hear them here in the video. So you guys let me know down in the comments, did you hear a big tonal shift from the 1/4 inch cable over to the Kimafun wireless transmitter? Let me know, and I'll be sure to go down there and check it out. So last but not least, we're gonna test the range on these things. I am going to turn my interface way up, And we're gonna throw a strap on this guitar, and I didn't mean to say strap on. We're gonna put a strap on our guitar, and we're gonna head outside and see how far that we can get with this interface. That's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna test it. So I'm in my basement now. We're gonna go ahead and go upstairs outside and see how far we can get and still hear this thing. All right, guys, we're now in my sunroom, which is probably 25 feet from the receiver. Still good. All right, guys, we are on my rear patio, which is probably an additional 15 feet. All right, it's already cutting out, so I don't quite think that it's gonna live up to its 50 meters, but it's also coming through my brick wall here on the side of the house, so maybe that's got something to do with it. It pretty much stops right at the edge of my sunroom door here. As you can see, it's going. And as soon as I move just a little bit away, it seems to not working. Yeah, I don't think it quite lives up to that 50 meters that is advertised, but again, we've got stuff in the way. The only true way to test that 50 meters is to see if we could get it in a room where there are no walls or anything in the way in order to test the true distance that it is capable of. But overall, I mean, I'm probably right here. I'm probably about 40 feet from the transmitter, and it's coming through a couple of walls, like I said. So in any real life situation that you're going to use these in, I don't think that you're going to be anywhere near this far away from whatever it is that you're plugged into. So I think they'll work just fine. But again, we had to test the limits of that 50 meters that it is advertised at, and yeah, doesn't quite live up. Alright guys, so in conclusion of the Kimafun wireless transmitter set, these are going to run you, again, $129.99 on Amazon, and I will link to those down below if you want to check them out for yourself. Usually they have some sort of coupon where you can save anywhere from 5 to 15% depending on when it is that you decide to purchase. But overall, I felt like the distance was a little bit lacking, and I felt like the output was a little bit lacking. I would like to see it at least be able to be on the same level as a 1/4-inch cable. That way you're not getting any sort of signal volume loss, and it is at least akin to a 1/4-inch cable, because if I'm using these on a guitar amp, I'm going to have to supplement these with some sort of additional volume boosting pedal in order to get my signal where it would be if I was using a 1/4-inch cable. So that to me is a con. Again, usable distance in real life, these are going to be more than enough, but I really don't think most people are going to be plugging in their basement and then going upstairs and trying to play in, their second floor or in their attic or something, which is where this is going to struggle getting through multiple walls and everything. Overall, I think the distance that it provides, I got roughly 40 feet out of it, is more than you are going to need in most scenarios. But again, it didn't quite live up to its advertised distance. The battery life on these is great. The charge time is a little slow though, so if you're in a pinch, if you have to plug these in right before a gig and you only have 20 minutes to charge them, you're not going to get a whole lot of charge out of them because they don't have a quick charge. It takes 3 to 4 hours to fully charge them according to Kimafun, so that is another con. But the battery life is a pro in that they last 6 to 8 hours, and I definitely at least got 3 or 4 hours out of them before I put them back on the charger, and even then they weren't dead. They still showed they had half battery, so they do have a good battery life. And then tonally, once I boosted that volume on my interface, they sounded great. They sounded clear. They didn't seem like they sounded muddy. It didn't feel like there was any sort of noticeable lag in between the guitar transmitter and the receiver. Everything seemed nice and immediate, so that was another plus. I like that you get the carrying case. That is also a nice plus to keep you from losing them. But overall, I gotta say, $130 for these. I feel like there are lots of options that offer kind of similar things in that same price range or a little bit less. So I would say shop around, make sure that these are right for you before you purchase them, because you may end up finding something that does what you need it to do for a little bit less. It seems like these are kind of in the mid range of, or mid to high range of the pricing of these wireless transmitter units on Amazon. I see them go as high as $200, but it seems like most of them are right around the $100 mark. So these are just above that $100 mark at $130. Again, you can get them with a coupon to save you a few dollars. But yeah, overall, what did you guys hear? What did you think? Did you hear massive differences between the 1/4-inch cable and the wireless unit? Let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button on the way out and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, hit that bell notification, all that stuff that every YouTuber tells you on every video, because believe it or not, actually does really help us out, and it would be very much appreciated. And if you want to support this channel, check down in the description of this video for all my affiliate links, including the awesome folks at Sweetwater, my friends at Eargasm, and finally, you can consider adding your name to this list of fine people by joining my Patreon community and supporting the channel that way. I'll love you forever, whether you want me to or not. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time. You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.